Good morning and welcome to 31st Street Church School. We're going to be doing an art activity. I am Unicia Buster, and today we're talking about caring for animals. Now, what does it mean to care for animals? I know some of you may have pets, a cat, a dog, bird, or fish. I have with me my pet, and her name is Asa. Asa is a reptile, and she is called a bearded dragon. Say hello to Asa. Now, God teaches us in the Bible that we should care for all of His creation. He talks about in Job 39, He's talking to Job about all the wonders that He's created. He's created the birds of the sky, the ox in the field, donkeys, horses, even the ostrich. And He tells Job that they all serve a purpose. I'm reminded of a scene in The Lion King where Mufasa is talking to Simba and telling him about the circle of life. He tells them that even though they eat the antelope and the antelope eats the grass, that one day they will die and become the grass that the antelopes eat. So that becomes the circle of life. And he teaches Simba that we should respect all creatures, just as God told Job. One of those creatures that I happen to love are ants. Ants are very hard workers, and today we're going to draw our own ants. I have an example here. Ants are insects, which, believe it or not, are still part of the animal kingdom. They are consisting of a head, a thorax, and an abdomen, and 6 little legs. The amazing things about ants are they always work together. They build colonies. They are the world's greatest architects in the insect kingdom. They care for their young. They even will move their young in different places in their colonies to protect them from heat and from a lot of moisture so they can thrive and grow. And they can lift 20 times their body weight. Now imagine if you tried to lift 20 times your body weight. That's like you lifting a car or a house. There are some species of ants that can jump 20 times their body length. And just picture that for a minute. If I'm 5 feet tall and I try to jump 20 times that's like almost half a football field from going to the end zone to the half line in one jump. So today I'm going to show you how to draw your own. The only supplies you will need are a piece of paper. You can use a white piece or a brown piece like I did for this example. But for this demonstration, we're going to use white so that you can see what I'm doing. You will need a pair of scissors, a marker, and a pencil. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw the abdomen. The abdomen is just an oval shape, so we're going to draw a nice big oval. Like that. And then along on one side of the oval, about right here, we're going to draw a funny shaped oval. It's going to be kind of wiggly. Like that. Now if you need to pause this video at any time, just hit the pause button, and if you need to catch up, you can catch up and then hit play. After that, we're going to give our ant a little bit of a neck. Right here at the top of that funny shaped oval that we did. And then on that neck, we're going to draw a heart shape. Now the top of the heart is going to be where the neck meets. And that's his head. So on either side of the heart, we're going to give our ant a pair of eyes. We're going to just make a circle on one side and a circle on the other side. And now our ant needs some antenna. And on ants, unlike the wasp where the antennas are straight, on ants they bend. So we're going to do 2 lines coming from the top of his head. So we're going to go 1, 2, 1, 2. So they make kind of like an L shape. And then we're going to make those lines wider so that when we cut them out, we have something to cut. We don't want to cut off his antennas. So I just outlined it to make them a little wider. And now, how do ants eat? Well, they have these mandibles that can cut, and they can also use them to fight with. They're called mandibles, and they come out from its mouth. And we're going to draw those right at the bottom of our heart. So I just did 2 little curved lines at the bottom of the heart. And again, we're going to make those a little wider so that we have something to cut out. And as we mentioned before, ants have 6 legs, and they're all located in the middle section, his thorax. He also has 2 little joints that the legs are connected to. So we're going to make these little half moon shapes to be our joints, sort of like the joints in our bodies. We have joints in our shoulders or our knees to help us bend. Well, insects have similar structures. And the ant's legs are in 3 sections. So we have this long part, this middle part, sort of like our legs. You know, we have our thigh and the bottom of our leg below our knee, and then the foot. So we're going to do that for our ant legs. And we're going to do those 3 parts. And all I'm doing is drawing a long little tube. And again, if you need to pause, just pause the video. And I'm going to draw a skinnier tube connected to that and a little foot. So we're going to repeat that for all of our ants' legs. Now what's important to keep in mind is we want his legs to be going in the same direction. So see how I drew this one going out this way? I want this to go out this way, so they're in sync. Now we're going to draw our other 4 legs at the bottom of the thorax. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to have 1, 2, and 3 parts on each of those legs. Did you know ants talk to each other? Not quite like how we talk to each other, but they communicate using their antennas and a substance that has a scent to it called pheromones. And that is how they communicate with each other. And they talk to each other a lot. Because they have a community, they have shared responsibilities. Some ants, their only job is to care for the young. Some ants' only job is to go out and forage for food. And some ants just take care of the queen. Get her food, feed her, so all she has to do is sit there and lay eggs. Before we part, I'd like to read a part of Job 39 for you. And it goes, "Do you know when the mountain goats give birth? Do you watch when the doe bears her fawn? Who let the wild donkey go free? Who untied its ropes? I gave it the wasteland as its homes, the salt flats as its habitat. Will the wild ox consent to serve you? Will it stay by your manger at night? Will you rely on it for its great strength? Will you leave your heavy work to it? The wings of the ostrich flap joyfully, though they cannot compare with the wings and feathers of the stork. Yet, when she spreads her feathers to run, she laughs at horse and rider. Do you give the horse its strength or clothe its neck with a flowing mane? Do you make it leap like a locust, striking terror with its proud snorting? It paws fiercely, rejoicing in its strength, and charges into the fray." So we can care for God's magnificent creations like the horse and the ostrich, the mountain goats and the ox, by taking care of their habitats, the forests, the rivers, the lakes, the ocean, making sure we don't pollute those habitats or tear them down, making sure that we reduce, recycle, and reuse, and leaving wild animals in the wild. That is very important. I got my friend Asa here from a pet store. She was bred for pets. But don't go outside and find a lizard and try to keep it, because those are meant to be in the wild. And as Mufasa said, respect all creatures. Thank you for joining me. See you next time.